You can always see your nose, but your brain kinda ignores it. You can't imagine a new color. You can't breathe and swallow at the same time. You can't hum while holding your nose. Your right hand has never touched your right elbow. Something is always touching you. Drinking straws have only one hole. Switzerland accidentally invaded Liechtenstein in 2007 when 170 Swiss soldiers got lost in the rain. The Liechtenstein government accepted a Swiss apology saying that it has happened before and nobody really realized it. People who are raised in warmer climates tend to be friendlier than those brought up in places with cold, harsh temperatures. The longest prison sentence ever handed out is a 141,078 years to Chamoy Thipayazo of Thailand for running a pyramid scheme that defrauded members of the Thai royal family. When the Bulgarian monarch died at 49 during World War II, his 6-year-old son Simeon became the leader. Shortly after, 97% of Bulgaria voted to end the monarchy in favor of democracy. In 2005, 64-year-old Simeon ran for Prime Minister of Bulgaria and won, making him the country's leader again. Studies show that people decide if you're trustworthy, adventurous, successful, smart, extroverted or likable within the first 3 seconds of meeting you. Rats will rescue their distressed pals even when they're offered chocolate instead, showing that the urge to help a fellow rat was at least as strong as the desire for food. Dutch trains run entirely on wind energy. The wind powers 5,500 trips per day, enabling 600,000 daily train passengers to commute without any emissions. Over the course of an hour, a single windmill can power a train for 120 miles. In 1140, a German king captured a castle and ordered all the women of the castle to leave with whatever they could carry on their backs. Thinking quickly, the women carried their men on their backs. The king kept his word and let the men live. Some farmers in Bangladesh have switched to raising ducks instead of chickens because during catastrophic floods, ducks float. The National Trust implores us to stop urinating in a toilet in order to save the water used in flushing, and instead we onto compost heaps, which speeds up the chemical process of decomposition, making it better fertilizer to grow vegetables and save even more energy and reducing food miles. Crows in urban Japan and the United States have innovated a technique to crack hard-shelled nuts by dropping them onto crosswalks and letting them be run over and cracked by cars. Then they retrieve the cracked nuts when the cars are stopped at the red light. Adding an additional 20 minutes of commuting per day has the same negative effect on job satisfaction as receiving a 19% pay cut. Try foods that you hated as a kid. Your taste buds change every 7 years and you're very likely to enjoy most of the food you disliked. Instead of donating money, Toyota helped the New York Food Bank by increasing efficiency, cutting line wait times from 90 to 18 minutes. In Brazil, the dolphins that team up with local fishermen have their own accent. For over 160 years, wild dolphins have been helping humans catch more fish by signaling when they should cast their nets, because they use their own unique whistles even around other dolphins. Scientists think they may be trying to distinguish themselves as the ones who help humans. There is a monument in Georgia which gives instructions in 8 languages on how to rebuild society after an unknown apocalyptic event, whilst also functioning as a compass, calendar and clock. The Rock travels with private jet of over 40,000 pounds of equipment that over 100 crew members assemble at each film location. Niels Bohr was gifted a house with free beer for life on winning the Nobel. A beer pipeline was connected from the Carlsberg brewery next door to this house. Bohr stayed there from 1932 until his death in 1962. When it rains, people publish more negative posts on Facebook. Each negative post negatively affects 1 to 2 other people. The negative post spreads like contagion, negatively affecting people's moods in cities without rainfall. Social networks magnify the synchronization of global moods. If your local Waffle House is closed, you should probably run, because the 24-hour chains only shut down during the threat of absolute devastation. FEMA unofficially determines the severity of a natural disaster based on whether Waffle Houses in the area are still open. They call this the Waffle House Index. The Old Testament says farmers should leave the edges of their fields unharvested for the poor and traveling foreigners to eat. Due to their similar protein composition, blood can be used as an egg substitute in baking and making ice cream. Around 100 people died during the construction of Hoover Dam. In this, George Tierney was the first man who died on December 20th, 1922. Exactly 13 years later, the last man who died on December 20th, 1935 was George's son Patrick Tierney. 7 weird coincidences between Lincoln and Kennedy. Lincoln was elected as president in 1860. Kennedy was elected as president in 1960. Both presidents' last name contained 7 letters. Both presidents were shot on a Friday. Both presidents were shot in the head. Both presidents were concerned with civil rights. Both presidents were succeeded by Southerners named Johnson. Lincoln's secretary name was Kennedy. Kennedy's secretary name was Lincoln. Dolphins have bromances in which 2 males may pair up for as long as 15 years and help each other hook up with females. The first human lived around 2,800,000 years ago, which means that an all-time average lifespan of 40 years. There were about 70,000 generations before we were born. YouTube's most searched tutorial is how to kiss. The least interesting day in history was April 11th, 1954. Dogs can smell cancer. Bees can detect bombs. If you thought that was impressive, bees are able to detect bombs with their tongues. Just as law enforcement uses dogs to sniff out explosives, bees can be trained to associate the scent with receiving food as a reward. So when the bee's handler sees it, extend its proboscis. The world's biggest tire producer is Lego. The toy company produces approximately 306 million tires per year, far more than any other manufacturer in the world. They may be tiny toy tires, but the fact still stands. France didn't stop executing people by guillotine until 1977. An octopus has 3 hearts. 2 of their hearts work just to circulate blood past the octopus gills, with a third to keep the blood moving through its organs. The third heart stops beating while the animal is swimming, which can be exhausting, and a good reason why they tend to crawl rather than swim. Microscopic mites live on your face. Don't freak out, but your face is crawling with 8-legged spider-like creatures. Fortunately, they are microscopic and impossible to see, but they're mites with long worm-like bodies residing in hair follicles and pores or sebaceous glands. Australia is larger than Pluto. You'd think a celestial body would be bigger than any country on Earth, even if that country is also a continent, but it turns out that's not the case. Experiments have found excessive organic molecules on some moons of Saturn and Jupiter. They are our most likely candidates for finding alien life within the next 50 years. The first man to survive going over Niagara Falls later died by slipping on an orange peel. There are about 1,400 different species of bacteria in your belly button. No word in the English language rhymes with month. Most people can survive for up to 2 months without eating, but people can only live up to 11 days without sleeping. When a person cries and the first drop of tears comes from the right eye, it's happiness. If it comes from the left eye, it's pain. In 2007, a Bosnian married couple found out that they had been cheating on one another in online chat rooms with each other. The male giraffe determines a female's fertility by tasting her urine. If it passes the test, the courtship continues. 2/3 of people on Earth have never seen snow. The founder of Match.com, Gary Kremen, lost his girlfriend to a guy she met on Match.com. Koalas never drink water. Their name actually means no water. The zebra stripes are some of the most distinct markers in the animal kingdom, like a human being's fingerprints. No 2 sets of zebra stripes are exactly alike. 98% of all paper money in the US contains traces of cocaine. Australia has over 10,000 beaches. You could visit a new beach every day for over 27 years. There is an uninhabited island in the Bahamas known as Pig Beach, which is populated entirely by swimming pigs. In 2002 alone, More people in the US were killed by dogs than in shark attacks in the past 100 years. In the film Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, every single one of the clone troopers was produced using CGI effects. In China 2013, scientists were able to grow a human tooth from scratch using stem cells taken from urine. Artist Salvador Dali would often get out of paying for drinks and meals by drawing on the checks, making them priceless works of art and therefore uncashable. French author Thomas Alexander Dumas, The Three Musketeers, is the highest ranking black military official in Europe to date. Surgeons who play video games at least 3 hours a week perform 27% faster and make 37% fewer errors. There is a blind man in America, Daniel Kish, who uses echolocation to navigate in the same way as a bat. He does this by producing a clicking sound with his tongue and then listening intently for the sound waves to bounce back. In an interview with Taylor Swift in 2005, she was told, "If music doesn't work out you could be a hair model." 7 years later the same woman interviewed her again and apologized for what she said. When written down, the word almost is the longest word in the English language to have all of its letters in alphabetical order. Sonic the Hedgehog has registered itself in Guinness Book of World Records for being the fastest gaming character ever. France has conducted 210 nuclear weapon tests, more than the United Kingdom, China, India and North Korea combined. This is scarcely a fifth of the amount conducted by the United States, however, who have conducted roughly 1054 tests. Put a Pillow on Your Fridge Day is celebrated on the 29th of May in Europe and USA and supposedly brings good luck and wealth to the household. The tea bag was an accidental invention. This occurred in 1908 when tea merchant Thomas Sullivan distributed his tea samples in small silken bags. His customers, not understanding that these were samples, dunked them and suddenly Sullivan was swamped with orders for his tea bags. As of May 2015, 2.3 million Americans still subscribe to AOL dial-up internet. Nokia was originally founded in 1865 as a paper printing company. Apt to say, when it was founded, paper was one of the world's most used methods of long-distance communication. The world's biggest ever recorded turtle was a leatherback turtle that washed up Harlech Beach, Wales in 1988. It was estimated to be 100 years old and was almost 9 foot in length, weighing a tumultuous 2,016 pounds. The word oxymoron is itself an oxymoron. This is because it derives from ancient Greek, where oxy means sharp and moros means stupid. 2013 was the first year since 1987 to feature 4 different numbers. During the First World War, so many starving wolves had amassed together in a great pack that opposing German and Russian forces formed a temporary alliance in order to fight them off. Murphy beds have been attributed as a cause of people's deaths before, most recently in 2005 when 2 women were trapped and suffocated to death by their Murphy bed. The least financially successful Harry Potter film made approximately 90 million more than the most successful Twilight movie. In 2007 a 1,000-gallon inflatable swimming pool was stolen from someone's back garden without a single drop of water being found. You are 3 times more likely to get a virus on your computer from a religious website than from a porn website. Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar kept 4 hippos in his estate before his death in 1993, deemed too much hassle to move by authorities. His hippos were left there and have since bred and escaped, becoming an invasive species of Colombia. It is estimated that in the Amazon rainforest alone there are between 20 to 40 million different species of animals, most of which are insects, as well as over 40,000 species of plant. On the 20th August 2013, the world record for the world's biggest Lego tower was smashed by a group of students from Delaware, USA. Their tower measured 112 feet in height and was constructed using more than 500,000 pieces of Legos. The average person spends 6 months of their lifetime waiting on a red light to turn green. The largest recorded snowflake was in Key during year 1887 and was 15 inches wide. There are more life forms living on your skin than there are people on the planet. In 1386 a pig in France was executed by public hanging for the murder of a child. A single cloud can weigh more than 1 million pounds. The average person walks the equivalent of 3 times around the world in a lifetime. Coca-Cola would be green if coloring wasn't added to it. You cannot snore and dream at the same time. The world's oldest piece of chewing gum is over 9,000 years old. A sneeze travels about 100 miles per hour. Chewing gum while you cut an onion will help keep you from crying. Al Capone's business card said he was a used furniture dealer. Banging your head against a wall burns 150 calories an hour. It is physically impossible for pigs to look up into the sky. About 150 people per year are killed by coconuts. The word gorilla is derived from a Greek word meaning a tribe of hairy women. Gorillas burp when they are happy. In 2006 someone tried to sell New Zealand on eBay. The price got up to $3,000 before eBay shut it down. It is considered good luck in Japan when a sumo wrestler makes your baby cry. Charophobia is the fear of fun. The toothpaste Colgate in Spanish translates to go hang yourself. Human thigh bones are stronger than concrete.
Cowbelly, let's go, baby.
Demonetization is dropping your rating to stop a migration of top innovation and content creation in an opposite way. I saw your new status and got inspiration to drop a new cape. On top of your face is a mock and the face of the clock is still racing. The mob is impatient, monster is way cannot just escape. You'll drop like a cave. YouTube Ukraine thought you would make it. Past all the creators who want to get paid for their awesome creation. So take the advice of a god in the making. All I got to say is Cowbelly TV gets more traffic than a metropolis. Yes bitch, that's me. And I'm still looking for where my profit is.